it's Nurse J at Nursing the Truth. I hope everyone's having a great day. So, on with the series of all of this Clementine recognitions and the early church and the finagling of the scriptures, per se. So, let's talk about James. Is it James? James the Just? James the son of Alphaeus, as we've been told? Or was it just a Pesher name for a high priest? Let's get with it, friends. So, one of the main reasons that the Clementine recognitions and the homilies have been dismissed as pseudo works is because they were believed to have been written by a later sect of Ebionites that were the remainder of the offshoot Christian church led by James the Just, quote, the younger brother of Jesus. For a while, James had been included in the church, but later was rejected. However, all this comes from the confusion of the name James. Have you ever seen in the scriptures all these James? James, the son of Alphaeus, James, the brother of Jesus, all these James. The brother of Jesus, also known as James the Just and James, and you have James of Alphaeus listed as one of the 12 disciples of Jesus. Matthew 10, 1 through 4, Mark 3, 13 through 19, Luke 6, 12 through 16, and Acts 1 and 13. The word Alphaeus, the scholar says, being used for Annas as his father, Annas had 5 sons, all who became high priest. And Annas was also connected to Caiaphas, the high priest. And we do know that Caiaphas was a real person and that they found his ossuary tomb in Jerusalem. And he was there in the 30s. And Caiaphas, the high priest, who was responsible for Jesus' crucifixion, as Caiaphas had married his daughter, and that is in John 18:13. His second son, Jonathan Annas, is the same as James of Alphaeus. Quote, in contradiction to the scholars who have tried in vain to decipher his name, the connection can be made by associating Nathanael in the Gospel of John 1:43 through 51 with James of Alphaeus, Annas, son of Jonathan. Since both Nathanael and Jonathan mean God given, Jonathan can also be correlated with the pseudonym Dosius. In Clementine recognitions, Dosius, who is credited as the founder of the Sadducee sect, also means God given. It can therefore be seen that Jonathan Annas was associated with Jesus, but was a Sadducee priest like his father and brothers. Ooh, that causes a problem because you see, the Sadducees did not believe in a resurrection or a spiritual reincarnation. The Pharisees did, the Essenes did, the Therapeutai did, and so that would cause a ruckus. And so Matthew, his younger brother, was a Sadducee priest listed as a disciple of Jesus and was writer of the Gospel of Matthew per se, even though we know it wasn't. It is important to understand the word publican or tax collector as it was used in the Gospels, for it connects 3 important colleagues of Jesus. Publican was used as a pun for priests being tax collectors of church tithes. Matthew 10:3 was referred to as a publican tax collector, and so was Jonathan being Levi in Mark 2:14, with the connection being son of Alphaeus to James and Jonathan, not Matthew. has the scholarly assumption. Also, Zacchaeus in Luke 19:2, Zacchaeus and the Clementines then connects with Annas, the youngest son, Ananus, the youngest son of Annas. See a lot of Ananias, Annas in the scriptures as well. Jonathan was high priest March through October of 37 AD. His disposing is shown in Acts chapter 7, 1 through 60. Using his name as Stephen, also corresponding to Clementine recognitions, proving that it was a symbolic death. It is therefore more likely that James, whom Clement and Peter sent dispatches to, was Jonathan Annas and not James the Just. This shows that earlier versions of the Clementines had to been written before Jonathan Annas' death in 57 AD, under the instigation of the Roman procurator Felix. See that in Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews, chapter 20, 163 to 165. The dating of the writing of the Clementines could not have been before Simon Magus and Peter and Paul split up, causing the schism of the churches in 44, thus making Simon Magus the bad guy. However, the philosophical content is clearly from an earlier date, shortly after the Pentecost, when the Jewish Christians were developing a unique identity as the Christians. You see, in Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews, there have been Roman Church interpolations about Jesus and Jesus being the brother of James. But you have to understand that the high priest, the Sadducees and Pharisees were all different sects. And the Zealots, the Zacharis, they all had their spin on things. And in the first century, Judea was a hotbed. And they were wanting to fight the Romans. And the Sadducees were in bed with the Romans, all about money and control. And the high priests were under the thumbnails of the Roman emperors and the prefects. So, if you read Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews, you will find all of these high priests, and especially in the later 60s and up until 70 AD or CE, however you want to call it, of all these people intertwined. So you have names of God men with possible real men made up to be the story. So until next time, Hotep and Ashe, my friends, and we will see you soon. Have a great day.